Some months ago, at the Lima International Book Fair, I got this book, Inés Huaylas Yupanqui, A Star Between Two Worlds, historical novel by the Peruvian poet and narrator Roberto Rosario Vidal, manager of the Peruvian Association for Children's and Youth Literature, published by the author himself through the self-publishing service by Editorial Planeta and Universo de Letras in 2022, with 270 pages divided in 4 chapters. This book has fascinated me. Since I'm interested in the Inca princesses who weren't able to tell us her experiences, novels like this give them that voice they didn't have. Let's remember they were witnesses and even protagonists of such a radical and perennial transformation of the Andean world, the Spanish conquest of Peru. Here we are talking about Quispecisa, or as the author calls her, Jespicisa, since her birth in what is now the Ancash region around 1515. It's nice to have read this context of war, alliances and agreements in the Andean world, of how the area of Jauja and the Chanca territory protected the rulers of Huaylas, former name of Ancash, from the power of the Incas. The novel starts in this context. The Incas defeated the Chancas, so several nations had to appeal to diplomacy to deal with this new political situation, Inca expansionism. Dualism in the Andes meant that apparently there were 2 rulers, one for Upper Huaylas called Huancachillac Apo, and another for Lower Huaylas, Pomapacha. The daughter of the latter, Kunturhuacho, or as I knew her, Contarhuacho, replaces him in leadership. This little-known woman played a key role and is rescued from oblivion in this book. There's a marriage alliance with Inca Emperor Huayna Cápac. Both became the parents of Jespicisa. There's great knowledge of the Andean cultures in many aspects. Jespicisa's childhood, Kunturhuacho's stay in the great city of Cusco, the Acllacuna or chosen women, and the education noble girls had to receive, from Inca history to weaving, preparing maize, beer, or cooking. There are references to regional dialects of the Quechua language, page 55, and descriptions of the solemn ceremonies in the imperial city, even the capacocha or children's sacrifice. Again, one can notice cultural differences, because that didn't happen in Huaylas, and knowing about the capacocha made Jespicisa sad, page 45. I guess the dilemma someone coming from 2 cultures may well be worth a research. In this case, the father being a powerful emperor and the mother a regional leader. That dilemma, even a moral one, persists throughout Jespicisa's life and appears in the book. Leaving Pizarro and marrying Ampuero, another Spaniard? Letting her daughter be far from her and be educated as a Spanish lady, not an Inca one? Abandoning her world and her fellow Inca people and try to fit in the new world ruled by the Spanish? A surprising part of the novel is the one about her star-shaped mole, page 55. Would that be auspicious or a bad omen? Anyhow, Huayna Cápac died, and we know how at the same time different factions fight to achieve power and some bearded strangers arrive. We are taken to the city of Cajamarca on page 75, before the tragic meeting at the city square, page 83. She narrates, in the first-person style, that she heard explosions and the harquebuses. Despite being covered in blood and frightened, she knew it was her duty to be with her brother, Atahualpa, until that moment the powerful Inca. The descriptions of the horrors of that encounter are vivid, almost poetic. Page 89, the first time Francisco Pizarro noticed her and asks about her. Also, we learned about other key players in this part of history. Generals Chalcochimac, Quisquis and Rumiñahui, Princess Cuxirimay Ocllo, who was going to be Atahualpa's main wife, Princess Tupac Hualpa, Manco Inca, etc. There's a reflection which made me think, on page 96. It says, optimism and drunkenness, as well as not assessing the enemy properly, led to failure instead of taking the chance to write history differently. Her wedding with Pizarro was in the Inca style, page 100, and she is Baptist, being renamed as Isabel Huaylas Yupanqui, page 101. That violent encounter of 2 worlds, the Andean and the Spanish, not only generated death, but transformation and creation, such as food fusion, page 102. Origin of our Peruvian food, a mixture after all. The mestizo race is started as well. Mama Asiri, Hespicisa's nanny, also helped Hespicisa's daughter be born. The first mestizo girl in this kingdom, page 120, the daughter of the conquistador of Peru and of an Inca princess. As Pizarro's wife and mother of little Francisca, born in Jauja, the first capital of Spanish Peru, she moved to Lima, which had been recently founded, again through Inés Muñoz, Pizarro's sister-in-law, and Hespicisa. We learn about the rebellion led by Manco Inca to restore the Inca Empire, the feats of his general Kitsu Yupanqui, who massacred 3 Spanish expeditions and made a 4th one escape, page 131. I will not tell you more, but this book is a journey through an Inca princess's life, but also coming from provincial aristocracy, as her mother, Conturhuacho, was a highly respected lady who, they say, even helped Pizarro with men so as to fight Manco Inca's rebellion. A Spanish woman, Inés Muñoz, and this Inca lady, Inés Huaylas, tell us this story, what happened based on their experiences and viewpoints. Both are mothers of this mestizo country, Peru. At the end of the book, there's a glossary on Quechua words divided in categories like food, places, or clothing. It was nice. I know historical novel is fiction based on reality. We cannot demand precision as if it were an academic book. But I noticed something on page 20. I understood Inca Huayna Capac defeated the Chanca, but hadn't it been Pachacutec, his grandfather? Anyway, a highly recommended book which reconnects us with the beginnings of our own country, a product of Andean civilizations and Spain. Bye bye.